Hello everybody, it's Merlin here, and today, as you can see, I have a new setup, so be enjoying this for a new format for some future videos. Now, Old Man Logan is obviously an X-Men spin-off. It's kind of an Elseworlds possible future in which all the supervillains at one point just decided, hey, let's get together and freaking destroy all the superheroes. This essentially leads to pretty much all the superheroes being wiped out, primarily the X-Men. The X-Men especially get almost totally wiped out. And all of the United States has been divided up into sections. Magneto's got a section, Doctor Doom, Red Skull, and the Hulk's become a bad guy too, and he actually has a section in California. Now, Wolverine at this point has basically decided he's done. He's no longer going to be fighting supervillains, no longer going to be involved in any war or conflicts. He's just living in seclusion, basically, the simple lifestyle with his wife and kids. But then Hawkeye comes and says, Logan, I need your help one time to deliver the secret passage across the country. Help me out here for old time's sake. And Wolverine eventually gives in and decides to help him. Now, basically what this comic is, just Wolverine going around helping Hawkeye on this secret mission, fighting old supervillains and new versions of old supervillains, and kind of hinting at what caused Logan to specifically stop fighting, because we know that Logan is, as the Wolverine, a very vicious, violent individual who kind of loves combat, so it's kind of odd to think that he would totally want to give up fighting, essentially. So there's always that element of mystery hanging on in the comic as you're reading it. Now, I read this comic some time ago. I do think it definitely is a good one. If you're a fan of the X-Men, or just Wolverine specifically, it's definitely a comic you should read. It's kind of got that problem, though, where it's a little bit inconsistent with other comics in the Marvel Universe. Now, granted, it is kind of an Elseworlds possible future story, but it still carries the same problem that a lot of individual solo comics for certain characters have in regards to other series. Like, for instance, Wolverine is, of course, a badass character who takes names and kicks ass all the time, essentially, but he tends to have a bit of a higher power gap in his own comics. When compared to being in other people's comics, he seems to be significantly less powerful, conveniently. So, of course, granted, in your own comic, you're going to always be awesome, otherwise people wouldn't read you. But this is one of those examples of where there is kind of one spoiler where you find out what actually did cause Wolverine to stop being Wolverine and get out fighting supervillains. And I can't really tell you because it's kind of an awesome twist. I'm not entirely sure if it makes sense due to the certain individual involved not really being able to do anything like that before, but it's an Elseworlds story, so you can kind of let it pass. Really, this comic is just fun, honestly. Really, there's not too much more to say about it. It's definitely a good read. The artwork's awesome. There's a lot of good action, a lot of good cameos. There's an interesting, introspective look into Logan's character and who he is. I can't really say it's the best Wolverine story I've ever read, but it's definitely a fun one. So, if you want to, check out Old Man Logan sometime. It's pretty good.